Hello, hi everyone. My name is Arafah. I'm a visual artist from the Dhesheh refugee camp in Bethlehem city, where I born and raised and based till today. I invited by Shuruk to participate in this platform with a short presentation about icons and the symbols that represent Palestine from art perspective. So this presentation will be from my own perspective, and I hope I can do it well. I hope you will find it interesting, and I'm sure there is other perspectives. So before that, I will give you very short and a brief background about my work, so you know who is talking. So I'm a painter since I was really young, and I participated in many art activities and programs with the local community and local artists, and with international artists in group exhibitions and so. And since I studied at the Art Academy in Ramallah, I try to expand my mediums from painting to installation to sculpture and video art and photography. And so I will start the presentation by describing Palestine as a farmland with many ancient cities and sites such as Nazareth, Akka, Wall, Jerusalem, Bethlehem, Hebron, and Jericho, etc. But most Palestinians were villagers and farmers, and this is how Palestinian is famous with orange and olive oil and grapes and cactus and other kinds. Well, as well, handcrafts art, which is about creating patterns and decorative shapes such as embroidery. Handcraft art, which Palestinian woman was the real artist who created different designs of beautiful symbols of kind of trees and leaves and flowers that inspired by the surrounded nature. Right before announcing Israeli occupation as independent state in 1948, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians became a refugee around the world. Many families who locked their doors and kept the key with them and ran away with a shock and not knowing where to go between the sounds of tanks, shooting, and bombs everywhere. Families took the key because they believed they would come back after 2 weeks, 2 months maximum. So after 70 years, refugees still have their keys with them and wait for the time of return. Palestinian artists show in many artworks farmers holding their keys, which made the key one of the most symbols that links to the right of return. And we can see that clearly in Ismail Shammout paintings. The UNRWA established concentration camps for the refugees by supplying them with tents and food. So more than 2 years, refugees lived in the tents, which it makes the tent one of the icons that represent the life of Palestinians in the refugee camps. So Palestinian artists as well played a documentary role at that time, because the media was in the side of the power systems, not in the side of fact till today, of course. So very few images and videos documented life of Palestinians from 1948 till maybe 1955. And so the artist Ismail Shammout has created many paintings that describe the life of Palestinian under the tent and the time of displacement of the Palestinians from their homelands and their farms and their houses and their trees and their nature. As well, artist Liman Mansour and artist Nabil Anani, who made hundreds as well of paintings that showing Palestinian, the farmer, planting orange trees and harvesting olive oil trees as a way to reconnect Palestine with its identity and culture. So between 60s and 80s, Palestinians started to establish liberation movements and parties such as Fatah and the PLFP under the PLO organization, which aimed to liberate Palestine. These movements established in Jordan and Syria and Lebanon, where there is Palestinian refugees. Artists created many posters that time to motivate Palestinians to join the liberation movement and to become from a refugee to a freedom fighter, especially that the speech of the movement was united with other liberation movements such as the Vietnamese and North Africa and Latin America. So what makes this transformation of the kafiyya, the farm scarf, to a mask for freedom fighter, make the kafiyya one of the symbols that represent Palestinian at that time and till today, of course. So the parties was going through many dividing process because of these disagreements that happened while the Israel occupation as a military institution become one of the most powerful in the Middle East. So in the late of 80s, Naji Ali, the caricature artist, has been killed in London by Anonymous. Naji was one of the most popular artists who was very critical to every political act and to every party and to every organizations and governments. So by his characters that he created, especially Handala, who considered as the speaker by the name of Palestinian refugees, especially the poor people, which his character still live till today on the walls of the refugee camps everywhere. So that's all I have in this presentation. I hope that was helpful, and you might find more details in the internet by finding some more names and more artwork and more symbols or icons. And if you will go to search names like Ismail Shammout, like Nabil Anani, Sliman Mansour, and Najil Ali, and the poster of Palestinian in the 80s, in the 70s, you will see many images that represent icons and symbols. And thank you so much. Hopefully we will meet in another platform or at the same platform. Thank you so much.